dude, get ready.
I'm ready.
What?
I'm a Jedi.
No. Dude, like, proper blasting, you. What? You haven't made any effort, dude.
I think you expect too much.
Hi Flickers, and welcome to our first Star Wars review.
With the upcoming new entry to the franchise, which we're all really looking forward to, we thought we'd do something a bit special and not just review the films. Instead, we're going to look at the remastering process and how much we liked or disliked it.
And, for comparison, what I thought I'd do is bring along my special limited edition, oh yeah, limited edition.
Fancy.
Yeah, so fancy. Of the remastered release of all of the originally filmed Star Wars, but it's also got the theatrical release as well, so we've got a decent comparison, not just through our memories, which are failing every day.
Yeah, mine definitely.
I think I'm catching up with you, dude. What we first did was watch the original theatrical release, and then what we did was we put on the remastered version as well to see if we could actually spot any real difference between the two, because a lot of films have been out there and they've remastered, and the details are so subtle that you don't realise how bad the original one was, and so when you see the remaster you go, God, this is even better than I remember.
That's not necessarily the case with Star Wars, unfortunately. Some of them are not quite as subtle as they could be. There are some distinctly unsubtle parts. So do you want to go through a couple of your favourites?
Yeah, but I'm going to try not to get angry about it. I'm not promising anything, but I'm going to try. No, wait. Do or do not. There is no try. The original Star Wars theatrical was awesome to watch that. And it really did bring back a lot of memories. Of course, at our age, we didn't get to see the original. We didn't sit in the cinema watching the original film when it was released.
I'm a bit older. I saw it on VHS, so I think that's...
Yeah. Well, I saw it. I saw it on recorded via TV on VHS. It's not quite the same. But anyway, but I remember sitting down and watching this phenomenal film and completely swept up in it. And that did, watching the first one, the original one, did bring back a lot of those kind of memories. It really did stir it, which was great.
It's the sign of a good film. I mean, we're both, like we've already worked out, we're both Star Wars fanboys, which is why we decided not to go with the straight review process, because it would have been pointless. We love the films.
Yeah.
We would have been singing the praises of everything. Certainly in the original theatrical release anyway. There's always a worry when you're watching an old film that you already love, that you watch it again and it's mostly your memory that's making it that great. But it's not the case with Star Wars. They are great.
They are amazing. And the beauty of them is that despite despite them being labelled as a sci-fi adventure action film and stuff, what actually really drives it and gives it the credit that it does is the quality of the writing and the characters, the fact that they are so definable without having to name them, what their job is, or give an actual physical description of the character. You can name characteristics of each one of them and you know who you're talking about, and you can say that to anyone. I mean, even one word and you know exactly what character I'm talking about. Scoundrel.
Han Solo.
It's like that.
Naive.
Luke Skywalker. It is a very epic look as well. Although there's only a couple of locations that you actually go to within the first film, the spectacle, the size of what the spectacle is huge. But what really draws you in is the character and the story arcs that they all go through, which is amazing.
I think the worst one for both of us in the first one, in the New Hope, was the addition of Jabba the Hutt with Luke Skywalker going around, Han Solo going around, and the worst part being, I mean, having him in there was pointless anyway, but the worst one where they added him standing on his tail. Now I know that was in the original thing, but it was cut for a reason. It was cut because it was pointless and it would just added nothing to the film.
Well, the hope... See, this is the thing, I've got to play the advocate on this as well, because you have to be fair. I don't like it, but I'm going to be the advocate for it, is that the point of that, there was a lot of footage that was shot which was not used because they realised which way they wanted the story to go. But with the Jabba scene, it was shot with the intention in mind that when the technology advanced so far ahead, he could bring that scene back in to then replace it with computer animation and create that character, you know, and get that scene going.
So why didn't he wait?
I think the reason being is because he didn't know what Jabba the Hutt was going to look like.
Yeah.
You don't know what Jabba the Hutt looks like until the third film. That's when Jabba the Hutt was actually designed. So that's 4 years in the future for him at that time.
Which, I mean, I've got to say, for me, that made Jabba the Hutt all the better, because he was always this. He was always this spectre that was behind Han Solo all the way.
With the scene with Jabba, because later on that character actually becomes quite prominent, and the fact that he is so powerful, and it's literally by his whim, by his command, that people do things for him because of his power influence. He just sits there. He doesn't need to move. So actually the scene of him being at the Millennium Falcon, chasing up Han Solo when he's already hired people to chase after him, seems to really negate that scene.
It does, and it is redundant, because we've already had the scene before with the bounty hunter in the cantina. So you've already covered the whole thing of him being chased.
And I think that actually brings us to one of the biggest points that I think the biggest thing that every single original Star Wars fan will shout about always, and we are going to address it. We've looked at the original footage and we can confirm Han shot first.
Yeah, that's the most controversial one, and the first in the
definitely
one of the first of the changes. I mean, that's definitely my favourite part of these remasters, because they do look. I mean, whoever did the recolouring, it's a brilliant job, and and the HD as well. We don't have to muck about changing the aspect ratio on the TV, because it's now a nice, decent, expected aspect ratio without doing any obvious stretching, which is brilliant.
Things that were added to it, which I agree and don't agree with at the same time, is the Port Isley scene when they enter Port Isley. A lot of people pointed out that in defence of, and I will do the same thing, in defence of the extra characters put into Port Isley, is that there is dialogue at the very start with Alec Guinness, who says Port Isley, which is the most busiest spaceport in the universe. So it makes sense to have more things going about in the in the background of the shots without distracting from the original scene.
Yes, you're right. It's supposed to be a busy spaceport. It makes sense to have all these things in, but they just weren't done well. The grading on the animals made them look like they were a cartoon put on top of the film.
Yeah.
Which obviously they were, but they weren't supposed to look like that.
It does need to be seen as a much busier place.
Yeah.
But that's going on the premise if you only ever seen the remastered, and anyone who's seen the remastered but it has heard that it wasn't as busy in the original film. And we can now say that actually it was. There were a lot of people in the background in the original film. And it was one of the things that kind of always comes up when people say about the remastered, that all this extra stuff is put in. But it really didn't need that much. A couple of creatures maybe and stuff. Anything that you add into a film, or any CGI or any special effects that you add into a film that take the audience out of the experience. So it's so jarring that they realise that they're actually watching something and they're not immersed in your story anymore. shouldn't be added at all.
I mean, despite all these little bits, I love Star Wars, and I don't hate the remasters. This is kind of the thing. I think a lot of it was pointless and a lot of it was badly done, but it would have taken a lot more to detract from what is, at its very fundamental level, a great film.
What the intention was to bring those up to date, especially with the release of the prequels.
The films that will not be named.
We all feel the same. And I think that's what the justification is for it. The things that take us out of the film that were extra scenes added are the only letdowns of what happened with the remastering. Thank you for watching our first review of the original Star Wars films.
So if you could like our films, which will be just about here.
Cool.
Yeah.
And don't forget to leave a comment below saying some of the bits that we may have missed, or some of the things that you maybe think we didn't do enough justice to. But also don't forget to subscribe. I mean, just here, yeah.
And if you want to see our previous video, that will be about here, somewhere here. Like that.
Just there.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone who's already subscribed. We really do appreciate it, and thanks for watching. It's great that you're here with us.
Bye, Flickers.